Now, what I want you to know now is what the judge's conclusion was. You had the VictoryLand Greyhound Park dog track people filing a lot of counter motions saying that they were not involved in trying to establish a monopoly. They were not involved in manipulating the rules at VictoryLand when the policies and the regulations were developed. That Fred Gray Jr. Was not involved in any kind of complicity or anything. That's my interpretation anyhow. When he, even though his father was one of the investors in VictoryLand, yet he went over to help Sheriff Warren develop the rules and the regulations and guidelines for the bingo situation at VictoryLand. And the judge really was not snowed by that. Let me read to you what the judge said in his conclusion. The judge said, for the reasons set forth above, it is ordered that, number one, the motions to dismiss plaintiff's third amended complaint filed by defendants Macon County Greyhound Parking Corporation and Milton McGregor and by Sheriff David Warren denied. Now, it was that group who were trying to show a lot of reasons why the plaintiffs in this situation should not be able to file a lawsuit against VictoryLand. The judge denied their arguments. The judge went on to say in number two, the plaintiff's motion for leave to file fourth amended complaint is granted. So the things that the plaintiffs had put forth that VictoryLand's people were trying to say were not true and were not based in fact, was in fact granted. So that part can go forward. The lawsuit progresses. The third thing that the judge said was, the plaintiff shall file electronically on or before March the 12th, 2008, an exact duplicate of the Fourth Amendment complaint that is attached to his motion in accordance with the Middle District of Alabama's Civil Administrative Procedure. So for once here now, as I said before earlier, we have the opportunity for the people of all of those nonprofit organizations, just plain old people, and Lucky Palace, an entity that has been reportedly and allegedly blocked out of any right, even though 744 in the Alabama Constitution allows for anybody in Macon County that desires to have bingo gaming activities. But the complication is the policy that was written by Johnny Ford, putting the sheriff in charge of making rules, implementing rules, and enforcing rules. And then the sheriff making rules, changing the rules again as different entities apply for licenses to have bingo gaming. And then VictoryLand standing behind all of this and being the major recipient of all that is benefited from bingo. And that is defined by people like me as a monopoly. When one can have it, but nobody else can get it, and a man, one human man, the sheriff of this county, is the man who stand and block everybody else's opportunity, so master can have a monopoly, totally unacceptable. Next week we'll bring you the bingo story, how the idea was developed, how master found that it was something that he could run with, how he and a few little investors decided to embark upon bingo, and how your state legislator went down and wrote the legislation, got it passed, and how they set your sheriff in position to deal with it, and then who's taking all the gravy now and who's getting the crimes.